The night you got shipped out, you just hung up the line and chucked your phone. Absolutely. You still keeping that thing? You bet. A guy who sacrificed everything for his city gets dumped at midnight without even a courtesy call. One choice shattered a legacy and scattered a family across the globe. What Luka went through wasn't just some business move. It was a total, agonizing collapse that caught the world off guard. That was the night pro hoops changed forever. February 1st, 2025. Started out like any normal night for Luka. He was tucked in, his TV was acting up, so he grabbed his tablet, found a movie, and settled in to relax just like everyone else does before they drift off to sleep. Zero bad vibes, no signs of the coming storm, and no reason to suspect that by sunrise, the city he loved and the team he fought for would be gone, along with the fans who treated him like royalty. Then, the screen lit up. To really get why that Saturday hit so hard, you have to understand who Luka actually was before the chaos, not just as a star, but as a legend in the making, a force that had been gaining steam from the moment he first grabbed a ball in Slovenia at age 7. Born February 28, 1999, Luka lived in a house where hoops was the only religion. His dad, Sasha, was a pro coach. Basketball was the only language the family spoke over dinner. From the jump, young Luka wasn't just playing, he was dissecting the game with a brilliance that defied his age. By 7, he was already schooling kids twice his size. He didn't use raw power, he outplayed them with his mind, just as he would eventually do to every pro defender. When he was 13, Real Madrid handed him a 5-year deal to join their elite Spanish academy. He moved to Spain alone and dominated immediately. At 16 years and 2 months, Luka made his professional debut for Real Madrid. He became the youngest kid in that legendary club's history to ever hit the pro hardwood. By 18, in the 2017-18 season, he had grabbed the EuroLeague MVP, the Final Four MVP, and the Spanish League MVP, becoming the youngest ever to sweep those honors in Europe. The hype following him before he even stepped foot on an American court was unheard of for any overseas prospect. Every front office was locked in. The league knew a generational talent was touching down. During the 2018 draft, Atlanta took him 3rd, but immediately flipped him to Dallas for Trae Young and a future pick. The Mavs found their savior. In his rookie year, Luka put up 21.2 points and nearly 8 boards a game, winning Rookie of the Year in a landslide, becoming just the 2nd European ever to earn that trophy. The years that followed were a non-stop clinic in pure basketball dominance. He locked in 5 All-NBA first-team nods, 6 All-Star spots, and the 2023-24 scoring title with 33.9 points a game, becoming the first European to lead the league in scoring while nearly averaging a triple-double every single night. That same year, he carried the Dallas squad all the way to the championship round. With career marks of 29.1 points and over 8 boards and assists, he ranks among the 3 greatest scorers ever. He was the heart of the city. Then, in the dark hours of February 2nd, 2025, everything broke. A massive 3-way blockbuster went down between the Mavericks, the Lakers, and the Jazz. Dallas sent their 25-year-old MVP candidate and Maxi Kleber over to Los Angeles. In exchange, the Mavericks landed superstar Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first-round pick, while Utah moved several other players to finalize the deal. The second the breaking news alerts hit, the entire basketball community just stopped in its tracks. The reporter had to tweet that it wasn't a prank, because nobody believed a move that big was actually real. General manager Nico Harrison apparently made the call himself, only talking it over with the new owner, Patrick Dumont, after Mark Cuban stepped away from the daily grind. Management claimed the move was all about building a tougher defensive identity, and cited worries over Luka's weight and a looming $345 million contract extension. NBA executives league-wide graded the Lakers' move a perfect score. Conversely, Dallas received a total failing grade. Pundits dubbed it a historically lopsided swap, with some calling it the worst ever, drawing parallels to the infamous Babe Ruth curse. In the words of The New Yorker, it was a catastrophic failure with no silver lining for the Mavs. Even Mark Cuban, despite selling the team and stepping back from basketball operations, couldn't hide his heartbreak over the dismantling of a franchise he spent 20-plus years crafting. Was your kid devastated by the news? Yeah. Honestly, weren't you? Absolutely. He was crushed. His anger stemmed from more than just the swap itself. It was the poor execution. If Dallas chose to part with Luka, the compensation should have been massive. I have mentioned it previously, trading Luka is one thing, but you have to extract more value. No offense to Anthony Davis, but they needed 3 stars. I am convinced that if we had landed 4 unprotected first-round picks plus Anthony Davis and Max Christie, the narrative would be different. When questioned point-blank if he would have ever shipped Luka Doncic out personally, I won't comment on that. He refused to engage, yet that heavy silence spoke volumes. No expert analysis or historical parallels could truly capture the internal turmoil Luka Doncic was experiencing. That Saturday evening, my television was broken, so I was just on my tablet watching a film before bed. His agent rang, and even after hearing the news, the reality would not sink in. My immediate reaction, repeated about 3 times, was asking if it was April 1st. His mind rejected the information. It felt like a prank. This reality seemed impossible. It was pure sorrow and total, overwhelming shock. My heart felt genuinely shattered. He just sat there on the sofa, motionless and silent for hours. At some point, he hurled his phone, a device he still keeps today as a grim memento, proof that the nightmare actually happened. Meanwhile, his future teammate was equally baffled. That Saturday, my feelings were all over the map. We had just secured a massive victory at the Garden. LeBron was riding high after a huge road win. Everything was going his way until the notification popped up. I was out, as people saw. I was at dinner with my family when the news broke, and at first, I assumed it was fake. Anthony Davis, the centerpiece of the trade, video called LeBron to verify the rumors. I thought it was a prank or people trolling. But then AD called me via FaceTime. Only after seeing Luka walk into the Lakers facility the next day did it finally feel real. It felt like a dream until I actually crossed paths with Luka today. Seeing the footage of AD at the Dallas practice made it hit home this was actually happening. A legendary figure was ripped from his home, and a city was on the verge of an explosion. The NBA, which thought it had seen everything, was stunned. The downfall and the recovery. The next day, Dallas did not just wake up furious. They woke up in mourning. The scene at the arena, right by the Dirk Nowitzki statue, the symbol of Mavs loyalty, was unlike anything seen in decades. Protesters filled the streets, chanting for the GM's firing. Signs appeared and crowdsourcing campaigns started specifically to fund ads against the front office. Mock memorial services were held outside, with fans creating makeshift shrines. Fans even brought actual coffins to the arena. A sign was displayed saying, "True loyalty is eternal." Hostility and vitriol were aimed at Nico Harrison as ticket sales plummeted. In a powerful moment, Dirk Nowitzki, whose jersey is retired in that building, showed up at Luka's first Lakers game in LA to offer his personal backing. He refused to stay away. It was personal for Dirk. Then, as if the basketball gods were passing sentence, Harrison's vision began to crumble instantly. Anthony Davis, the cornerstone of their grand plan, managed only 29 appearances in Dallas. Abdominal and adductor issues sidelined the trade's prized asset almost immediately. He was the very talent Harrison had supposedly coveted for years, yet he vanished before the midseason mark. Come February 2026, Davis was dumped to the Washington Wizards for peanuts. This alleged savior of a new age was discarded before the initial trade's first anniversary. The other foundation of this dream, Kyrie Irving, suffered a torn ACL in March 2025, ending his season indefinitely. The grand design crumbled before facing a real trial. A franchise that contested the finals just months prior made history by completely missing the postseason the very next year. They fell in the play-in tournament, then threw in the towel. Dallas snagged Cooper Flagg with the #1 overall pick in 2025, signaling a total ground-up restoration. Within 12 months, a title contender shifted from championship dreams to marketing a teenager as their sole beacon of hope. November 2025 saw Nico Harrison axed as Dallas languished with a dismal 3-8 record. The executive who tore apart an elite roster to chase a ring was out of a job before Game 12 even tipped off. Critics compared his moves to a self-detonated nuclear strike aimed squarely at the organization's own pillars. The old adage says defense earns rings, but for Dallas, it brought nothing but failure. All the while, Luka Doncic was piecing his fractured life back together. He admitted that his initial month in Los Angeles felt incredibly grueling. 7 years of established habits were wiped away in a strange, new city. He had to reinvent his daily existence, yet he persevered. Then, the league schedule threw a curveball that caught everyone off guard. Because of a matchup scheduled long before the swap, the Lakers were still slated to visit Dallas. That evening, before the very crowd that had spent weeks grieving his exit, the arena lights dimmed for a tribute. Luka hadn't seen a single frame of it beforehand. At what point did you actually see that montage? Was there an opportunity or a desire to view it earlier? Teams usually give players a sneak peek of those things. He witnessed the footage for the first time on the big screen, surrounded by thousands of weeping fans sharing his pain. Did you expect to get choked up imagining how that homecoming might feel? Had you any idea it would hit that hard? I really tried to stay stoic, but the emotions just took over. He swore he'd keep his composure, but failed. It wasn't some grand oration in the clip that finally crushed his resolve, though. No statistic could do it. It was a single play, one magical stretch. Honestly, it was just the incredible bond we shared as a unit. Everyone looked out for one another. We were completely in sync. That brotherhood and that deep postseason push felt like just the opening chapter of a dynasty to Luka. Then, following an ejection in Oklahoma City just 24 hours earlier, Luka took the court on no rest, eyes still red from weeping at his own tribute, and dropped 45 points. That ranks at the very top for me. The atmosphere, my old teammates, and the fans made it unforgettable. Once the buzzer sounded, he linked up with Dirk Nowitzki. Over dinner, they reminisced. When asked about his legacy in Dallas, Luka's reflection was blunt and absolute. I poured my soul into that team. I battled through countless injuries that the public never even heard about. He sacrificed everything without demands, fully committed to being a Maverick for life. I appreciate the honesty. Did you truly plan on retiring in a Dallas jersey? Without a doubt. That's a no-brainer. He stated it as an objective truth, because it was his reality. Walking away was never his choice. He didn't seek an exit. Those he trusted forced him out silently, offering no warning or explanation. So, when the reporter quoted the precise justification his old GM gave to the media, Luka's reply was hauntingly calm and profoundly poised. Nico Harrison doubled down, claiming defense is the key to titles. How do you respond? Pure sadness. No rage, no resentment, just grief, followed by a firm silence. I won't trash him, I'm just ready to move forward. It felt like two separate dialogues were unfolding. One was a public exchange, the other a haunting silence between Luka and the executive who discarded him without a single word. Dallas tossed his loyalty aside, but he didn't let that devotion go to waste. Luka simply brought that same commitment to his new team. He is ready to move on. He still values the fans and his old squad, but it is time to turn the page. In August 2025, he inked a 3-year, $165 million extension with the Lakers, dedicating his future to a fresh start. He completely reshaped his physique over the summer, gracing the cover of Men's Health as a reinvented athlete. He arrived for the 2025-26 season with a point to prove. 55 games in, by mid-March 2026, Luka is putting up 32.8 points, 8 rebounds, and 8.5 assists while shooting 47.3%. Ranking as a top MVP candidate, he is 4-0 against Dallas since the trade. The star once doubted for his fitness is now playing the most dominant ball of his life. On the court, he was king, but off it, his personal life was becoming a storm. By early 2026, his on-court legacy was secure. Public opinion was completely unanimous. Dallas had committed one of the most massive blunders in professional sports history. Luka didn't just survive the trade, he was completely revitalized by the move. But the game isn't everything. His life away from the court involved foreign clinics, custody battles, and months away from his kids. No highlight reel could explain that pain. To understand 2026, we must look at 2022, a year with a private struggle that most missed. It reveals the pressure on a man who became an icon before he could even vote. In September 2022, his company, Luka 999 Incorporated, sued to cancel the Luka Doncic 7 trademark. Though it used his name, his mother, Miriam Potterman, owned the rights. This was a serious legal battle. He was fighting to take back his identity. It started in 2018 when Luka, a 19-year-old rookie, let his mother trademark his name on his behalf. She had run his business since he turned pro in Slovenia at age 13. Her initial goal was clearly to protect her son from the industry's sharks. But by 2021, he was a global superstar with his own distinct vision. The old trademark blocked him from using his name for his own American projects. In July 2021, he pulled his consent and consolidated everything under Luka 999. When talks failed, he sued. He told Mark Stein it was a last resort, settling in 2022. The case was closed and the legal filings were officially pulled, ending the dispute privately without any further public drama between them. It was a quiet family matter that revealed the complexity of his superstar life. He trusted others as a teen, then fought as a man to own himself. By March 2026, his private agony could no longer be kept secret. On March 10th, 2026, news broke that his partner, Anna Maria Gultis, his childhood sweetheart, dating since 2016 and engaged in 2023, sued for child support in California. That same day, before things spiraled, Luka told ESPN the truth. He loves his daughters deeply, and he's tried everything to keep them with him during the NBA season, but it wasn't possible. So, he made the hard choice to end the engagement. Everything he does is for his kids, and he'll never stop fighting for them. He noted the lawsuit was a surprise, as he's always fully supported his family. Luka and his partner have 2 girls. Gabriella arrived November 30th, 2023 in America during his Dallas Maverick days. Then Olivia followed December 4th, 2025 in Slovenia. He crossed the Atlantic for that birth, skipping 2 Lakers matchups just to witness his second child's first breath. Gultis is now raising both daughters in Slovenia. Since training camp started in late September 2025, he has spent only 2 days with them. The infant hasn't even visited America. Seeking urgent visitation rights, he petitioned the Slovenian legal system in late February 2026. A legal war over the children erupted simultaneously within 2 different nations, Slovenia and California. Think about that. This athlete is dropping almost 33 points nightly in the world's premier basketball league. Rising from the ashes of a trade that completely blindsided the sporting world, he inked a $165 million deal and commands a top-tier Western Conference squad. Months have passed since he saw his kids. During the season, his baby girl has stayed a whole ocean away. Records show the exact moment their relationship finally shattered. Luka made the trip to be there when Olivia arrived on December 6th, 2025, at a hospital in Cronj. During that visit, he informed Jealous of his plan to take Gabriella stateside for the remainder of the season. An argument broke out, leading Jealous to summon the authorities. Police units responded to the maternity ward to question everyone involved. ESPN reviewed the official report, which cleared Doncic of any criminal behavior or wrongdoing. No arrests occurred. He departed quietly, catching a return flight to America that same evening. Yet, the sight of an NBA icon flanked by officers in a maternity ward just 48 hours after his daughter's birth was a haunting sign that his private world was spiraling into chaos. Despite the turmoil, he continued performing at a level reserved only for the game's absolute legends. He hints that the court offers him a refuge that his home life currently lacks. It provides a sense of order, a sanctuary where the outside chaos finally goes quiet for a while. So, which version of Luka Doncic am I talking to right now? The same guy as before, just facing new things, he says. Discussing his deep involvement in Los Angeles charity work, it felt like he was unloading a heavy internal burden by focusing on helping others instead. Every place I have lived, people supported me. I just feel the need to repay the communities that built me up. Upon moving, he gifted $500,000 to help those affected by the Los Angeles brush fires. In December 2024, he launched his foundation to ensure kids can play sports regardless of their bank accounts. He visited sick kids in Los Angeles hospitals. He kept funding athletic programs back in Dallas as well, refusing to let trade drama affect the local kids who had no say in his departure. So, what really is his tragedy? We aren't talking about fake internet rumors, false reports of fatal crashes, or made-up family disasters have gone viral as junk news across the web, but actual reporters looked into these claims and found absolutely zero truth to them. The facts are heavy enough without adding any extra drama. His actual situation is more subtle and painful. Here is a remarkably loyal athlete who openly stated, without a doubt, that he planned to retire as a Dallas Maverick Yet the very people he trusted blindsided him with a midnight trade, offering no heads up or even a basic explanation. A massive $345 million extension vanished the moment he was sent out of state. Lakers offered roughly $116 million less. The forced move and displacement of his entire existence seemingly triggered the collapse of his home life and family goals. Yet, despite the heartbreak, he remains on the court. He keeps pushing forward. By March 2026, he solidified himself as a global hoops titan. Meanwhile, he's waging 2 legal battles to protect his daughters. He's crafting a fresh start in SoCal, stepping up as a mentor and a selfless benefactor. He hits the floor every single night with a lethal focus, choosing to forge his inner turmoil into a weapon on the court. Luka remains unchanged despite the new colors. Moving teams didn't crush his spirit, and the heartache failed to drain his soul. No matter how this journey unfolds, whether he hoists a trophy in Los Angeles with his girls celebrating by his side, or follows a path no one anticipated, one fact is undeniable. The pen is still in Luka Doncic's hand. Liked this? Check out these cards for more.